It's Sunday right now. I really can't see the date, but just know it's March. It's March 9th. Yes, spring forward. That's the day it is. So today I decided to take a break from the weekly vlog and do a sort of a chit chat video. Like, let's sit down, let's get cozy. Oh, now what happened to my fireplace? Hold on. Okay, so cozy fireplace is back. So guys, in today's video, I'm gonna be telling you some tips for thrifting, okay? So I've been thrifting for, how old am I? I've been thrifting for over 10 years. Like, let's say, actually since I was in middle school, so almost 20 years? That's such a crazy thing to say out loud. But I've been thrifting for almost 20 years. My mom first took me to the thrift store, I want to say when I was in like middle school. And in middle school, she taught me the ropes, guys. She took me around and she told me to get very comfortable with thrifting because it was going to be my best friend one day. And I thought she was crazy. I'm not going to lie. At the time, you couldn't convince me that I would ever thrift again. I hated thrifting. I didn't believe my mom actually did this. Like, when she told me that, I was just like, you lying. You do not be in the thrift store. But lo and behold, she definitely was in the thrift store. And, you know, when I finally got my own money, got my own car, my own transportation, I also was in the thrift store, girl. With the rise in thrifting and just vintage shopping in general, me personally, I'm not a huge fan of vintage shopping because I just feel like vintage shopping is like, how much time do you have? Because like I could really go on and on and on about how much I dislike vintage shopping, but I'm not going to do that to you guys today. I'm going to spare you. Just know I do not necessarily agree with vintage shopping. I feel like it definitely takes advantage of thrifting. Like I said, 20 years in the game with this whole thrifting thing. I've wasted a lot of money in the thrift store. I've gotten a lot of pieces that I literally never wore. I've done it all, okay? For somebody who's going into the thrift store today in the age where you can't necessarily find things at a price where you used to. You used to be able to get good items for $2, $3. Now it's looking like $7 to $10. Sometimes, depending upon where you go, cough, 2nd Avenue, it'd be more than that. Just thought I would come give you guys some tips on how to not waste your money at the thrift store and to really get the most of your experience every time that you go, because it is truly an experience. That's why I really love thrifting. Like, it is such an experience. I just feel like it's my way of recycling. I donate often, and it's like a circle of life. I donate, I buy. What more could you ask for? You know what I'm saying? It's about sustainability. It's about saving the planet. Like, I could go on. So first things first, okay? Look for quality pieces. Now, you do you, baby girl. But for me personally, I ain't going to the thrift store to find no plastic, no polyester, no nothing like that. On occasion, I do get those things because what I notice is, like, I buy a lot of my workwear from the thrift store. And what I notice about workwear, a lot of that stuff be polyester, like even from like the high-end stores. I recently got into materials a lot more, so high school me, college me would have never noticed that. Me now, I'm checking that label and I want to see something natural, period. I recommend getting real quality pieces from the thrift store. Genuine leather, cotton, wool, cashmere. I found this nice like cashmere coat. Now I did donate it back, which was stupid, because I never actually wore it. But like, that was a few years ago, and now if I had that today, I'd be wearing it down. I got that coat for literally like 80 cents because I went to this one place where you can get stuff by the pound. Girl, I should have never did that. But you want natural materials. You want things that will last a few washes. You want something that if you throw it in the dryer, it's not gonna dissolve on you, rip, tear. Something that even if you send it to the dry cleaner, it can last, because the dry cleaner has messed up many a piece that I've sent to them from the thrift store. And a lot of the time it was because it was cheap, and it was cheap, okay? Tip number 2, if you can't live without it, get it. This ain't Ross, this ain't Target, this ain't insert any other brick and mortar store that you might get new clothes from. This is the thrift store. You're talking people, it is their job to go through that store and make sure things are where they're supposed to be. Okay, then you have people who are on the hunt for something. People are looking at every single piece of clothing in that store multiple times a day. This is not some place where you can hide something and think it's going to be there when you come back, even if you come back in the same day. So if you like it, grab it. It's really survival of the fittest, like who's going to get it first. You're probably not going to find the item that you're looking for, that you're looking at again. Even if you don't grab it in that moment, think you're going to take a lap and come back. Girl, if you like it, somebody else probably going to like it too. Tip number 3, wear something you can easily slip clothes on top of. So now, as a seasoned thrifter, I cannot say that I've always done this, but I do recommend doing it because I have sensitive skin. You don't know what walks of life this piece has been through. I don't recommend putting something on your bare skin. So you might want to wear like a bodysuit or a long sleeve shirt, something fitted. I recommend just keep sensitive areas covered, okay? If you want to put it on your arms, whatever, legs, whatever, I can't tell you what to do, but I recommend covering up, wear some leggings, a nice fitted outfit that you can try stuff on. And it's not uncommon to see people try things on in the aisle. A lot of the times, some of these stores don't have dressing rooms, and then also the dressing rooms might be full. And there might be a line at the dressing room. You just don't always have the time for that, right? So just wear something that you can easily take stuff on and off and try it on. Make sure it fits you. I recommend something fitted in case you need to try on something fitted. Nothing too bulky that could disrupt how something might fit on you, so that you can get a real feel for how this item fits on you and if you like it or not. Tip number 4, and this one is crucial. Stay away from fixer-uppers. Stay away from fixer-uppers, okay? I'm talking no stains, no tears, no rips, no cuts. Any major modifications that you may have to make, I recommend staying away from it. Only because I've been there. I told myself I could get this stain out. I could sew this up. I could get this sewn up. I could fix this. 9 times out of 10, it wasn't even worth me fixing. Fixing it would have cost way more than the actual item, and it just wasn't worth it. Because thrifting is supposed to be affordable, right? It's supposed to be a place where you don't have to spend a lot of money to get something nice. Also, if you find something that is stained at the thrift store, it's probably there because it is stained. That stain probably ain't coming out, girl. I say that with love because I have seen many a stain that I told myself I could get out. I could get that out. Every item that I have bought from the thrift store that was stained is still stained. I ended up trying to hide stains. I've done that, but getting the stain out, I did not succeed in that. I've never been able to do that. Also, unless you're like a seamstress or a carpenter, for my people who like to go find like vintage furniture pieces, you want something that you can wear. You want something that all you have to do is wash it, give it a good clean. You want to wear it. Thinking that you're going to fix something from the thrift store that is broken or something, unless you are good at that type of stuff, you're probably just wasting your money. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay. Also, I've sent items to the cleaners, like I said before, and the cleaners ruined it, trying to get stains out, it's a lost cause. You don't want anything that needs major modifications before you can wear it. Tip number 5, try out new trends at the thrift store. So are you looking to try something new? The whole aesthetic thing is really big right now. If you are looking to try out a new aesthetic, if you're looking to try something that you've seen online, just, experiment a little bit. I think the thrift store is the perfect place to do that because you can find something for the low. And also 9 times out of 10, you will find something unique, right? So you'll try a new trend and it'll be something that you can find that you won't see anybody else have. And that's one thing I love about the thrift store. That's one reason why I really love thrifting growing up, is because I grew up on uniforms. So Not gonna lie, like the whole aesthetic thing and stuff that they have going on today, I don't really resonate with that because I just feel like people be looking the same. And as a person who grew up on uniforms, I feel like when I was in high school, a lot of people had their own individual style because we were forced to look alike with the uniforms. And so we were literally doing anything to differentiate ourselves from the next person. And the thrift store was the perfect place. So when I finally didn't have to wear uniforms anymore, I was like, bet, thrift, because I do not want to be caught in something that somebody else got on. That's the most, I don't know what it is about me. It makes me cringe. Like if I were to buy something and somebody shows up at the function in the same exact thing, cringe. And when I thrift, that has never happened. It has only happened when I bought something from the actual store. Anything thrifted, that has never happened to me. I've never even seen some of these pieces ever again in life, like ever. So that's one thing I really love about the thrift store. If you really want to make a statement, be unique, try something new, thrift it up. Okay, tip number 6, ladies. This for the ladies. Don't be afraid to shop the men's section, okay? Now, I know that can be, especially for my girlier girls. Me, I'm not super girly. I would say I do have more of like a, it's less tomboyish, but like I grew up with a tomboyish kind of style. And now I feel like I do have like a let's say sporty. I have a sporty vibe to me a lot of the times. I love the men's section at the thrift store. There are so many gems. Every pair of baggy jeans that I've ever gotten from the thrift store have been from the men's section. Sometimes I pick up slacks for work from there just because I like the feel. It's all about how it fits you. I really do like the coat section in the men's section also. And then also t-shirts. Like the t-shirt section in the men's section is unlike anything else in the thrift store to me. Sometimes I'll go and just look at the t-shirts in the men's section because I love, like the men's section has so many goodies in there. Also, back when you could actually find a grandpa sweater at the thrift store, they had all the grandpa sweaters and they all came from the men's section. Even this sweater I have on right now, this came from the men's section. This is a rare find because I swear I haven't been able to find like a quality grandpa sweater from the men's section since college. I think it's the vintage people. You know, the vintage stores, they literally go through the thrift store, they get everything, and then they hike up the price or whatever's trending. Grandpa sweaters have always been trending since I was like a child. So, but yeah, the men's section has some gems. Tip number 7, okay? Find your go-to items. Now, this may take a few trips. For me personally, it took me years to find like my go-to items in the thrift store. But as of now, my go-tos, these are the sections that I go to first before exploring anywhere else. So t-shirts in the men's section, the coat section, the jeans section in the men's section. Okay, I look at the accessories. So I really like the scarves. Also the bags. Love. The bag section is my favorite section. Literally in any store though. Old, new, I love the bag section. So any bags, purses, all that. I also enjoy the jewelry section. And then the women's section, I check out the blouses, I check out the blazers, and like maybe like cardigans and sweaters and stuff like that. Those are like the main places that I go. And then if I might take a stroll down other lanes, but those are the main sections I go to. And I recommend just having your go-tos. That way you're not spending too much time in there. There's less time to waste money. You know what I'm saying? Less time to get something that you may not actually wear. Because we've all done that. I got my notes, guys. Tip number 8, don't neglect the jewelry section and take your time in the jewelry section. So for me, as a person, I wear clip-on earrings. My ears are not pierced. So the jewelry section at the thrift store is my favorite place because you can find some quality clip-on earrings and also clip-on earrings that you've never seen before. It's different from what you'll see at like Claire's or on Etsy. And then also if you're into like vintage jewelry, vintage costume jewelry, that type of thing. Also, some of their real jewelry, like sterling silver, real gold, is going to be a lot cheaper, obviously, than in a regular store. You may have to get these items cleaned, but I think it's still worth it. Like, as long as it's not super scratched up, nothing crazy, I think it's worth it. You should definitely check out the jewelry section. Now, every time I go to the thrift store, the jewelry section has this long line, but I think it's worth it. Just give it a little peruse. Like, even if you don't find anything, I think it's good to know what's in there, to know what they're working with. Number 9, you want quality over quantity. So, when I first started thrifting, I would rack everything up. Like, literally, I would grab as many items as I could and I would just throw it in my cart. I'd leave the thrift store with like 50 items thinking, oh, I'm so good at this, da 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 da. Like, I found so many cool things. Then I got home and I realized, you know, I don't really like some of this stuff. Or in the moment, right, I thought it was cool, but now that I'm home, I realize I have nothing to wear this with. This doesn't even fit into my wardrobe. I can't do anything with this, you know? Some things you think are really cool, but that doesn't mean that you need to take them home. Because like I said, it is a waste of money. Now, we're all gonna have those days we go to the thrift store, we're gonna grab stuff. I still have shirts in my closet right now I have never worn, but in the moment, I loved it. And I had to have it, but I've never worn. There's like a few shirts in my closet right now that I've never worn. But I swear one day I'm still gonna wear, so I haven't donated it back yet. So yeah, quality over quantity, right? You wanna make sure that you're getting a quality piece, something that you know you're gonna wear, something that fits your wardrobe aesthetic, whatever you wanna call it. You don't wanna just grab all these things because essentially you're just doing them a favor, girl. You're about to buy these things, pay for it, and donate it right back. You just giving them free money. And I've done that plenty of times, okay? And this leads me to my next tip, which is do a final audit. So sometimes I still do go into the thrift store. I just put everything that I like into the cart. And then before I check out, I do a final audit. So during this audit, I basically envision myself wearing this piece. I think of outfits I will wear this with. How can I style this? That's a big thing. How can I style this piece? And then also, you want to make sure that, like I said before, it has no stains, no tears, no rips, no cuts. You want to check pockets, right? If you get a bag, open the bag. Y'all, I literally found a gold necklace in a bag one time from the thrift store. There's also been trash in bags. There's been other bags in bags. Like, there's all types of stuff in these bags, and you just want to be mindful of what's in there before you take it home. Also, you want to check your pockets. Make sure that nothing crazy is in those pockets before you take it home. When it comes to jewelry and things like that, well, they typically make you pay for the jewelry separately. So before you buy the piece, just check it for any imperfections, anything that you're not gonna like later. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we see a little scratch on something, you might think, that's fine. But later, it's like, damn, this thing is really scratched up. What was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? So just do a final audit. Make sure that you really want these things before you check out, because you cannot do returns. You just have to donate it back and bite the bullet. Tip number 11, go on sale days. So a lot of thrift stores, they label things by color. And then on a random day, there will be random sales for, it's typically isn't random. Like, I know this one store is called Thrifty B, or B Thrifty, I think it's called. It's the Value Village that is it's by Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. They do sales typically, I want to say on like Saturday, Sunday, because I always get the text. It's like 50% off, usually on the weekend. But they do it, sometimes they do it for the whole store. Sometimes they do it for like a specific color. And then like one color will be 50% off. The rest of them will be like 20%. There are different things that different stores do. So you might, like, when you go to the store, make sure that you're plugged in, give them your phone number, whatever, get on the text message chain. Just make sure you're plugged in so that you know when the sale days are, because those are the days you'll want to go nuts, right? You want to save your coin for the sale days, because the sale days, it really feels like I'm shopping back in like 2013 or 2014, where things were really like $2.50. I could find like a grandpa sweater for like $2.50. A moment of silence, because that'll literally never happen again. Inflation, that'll literally never happen again. Tip number 12. thrift in wealthy areas. I feel like for obvious reasons you want to thrift in wealthy areas, right? But I'll explain it. So basically, the wealthy areas is where you're going to find the good stuff, and not always, but 9 times out of 10. Okay. So when I used to live in Silver Spring, Maryland, I would go to Rockville for my thrifting experience. And I know you're like, Rockville, not everywhere in Rockville looks like a wealthy area, right? But there are certain areas in Rockville that do look wealthier than others. And in those areas, I would find items that still had tags on them. I would find like better quality homeware, better quality electronics, like, you know, things that wealthy people just, they don't have a need for. They just throw it out. You're going to want to do that, because it's definitely, you're going to find better things than you find at the thrift store in the hood, or like the, you know, the not so wealthier areas. So that's just a cheat code, because sometimes you do have to go a little bit further out of your way, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not finding things when you go there, just get plugged in. Go back on a sale day, see what they got, because I swear they always have goods coming in. Like, it's always good. And those are the thrift stores that I always find things with tags on them. Otherwise, I typically don't find things with tags on them. Tip number 13, stick to your budget. One thing that can help with sticking to your budget is carrying cash. That way you know exactly how much you're spending, and you take out a specific amount that you plan to spend, or the max that you want to spend, and just stick to that. Thrifting is supposed to be affordable. If it is not affordable, you're not doing it right. I hate to say it, you're not doing it right. Like, the goal is to not spend all your money. The goal is to find good items for the low ski. So keep it on the low. Keep it on the low end. Tip number 14. If you're a furniture shopper, a vintage furniture shopper, I do not recommend cloth furniture. Now, Martha Stewart said it too. Like, she said only wood, and I would have to agree with her. I would not do cloth furniture. You just never know what is in the cloth. Now, you could get lucky and find something that is perfectly fine. I would even argue that the majority of the items you see are perfectly fine. Me personally, I just don't think it's worth chancing it. Now, my mom did teach me this hack. If you do want to find something of cloth to bring home, I would do it in the wintertime, and then I would just leave it outside for a few days. My mom said that's a hack that she used to use when she would buy things that needed to be in the house. Especially, it's perfect in the wintertime, because if there are any bugs in there, roaches in there, you leave it outside for a few days, it's not going to survive. It's going to either leave the item or it's going to die. Also, you might want to like steam clean it. Do what you need to do. Me, I ain't got time for all that. And also, I don't live somewhere where I can just leave something outside for a few days. So yeah, only wood. That's my recommendation. Or like metal, something of a hard surface where you can look through it, you can see what's going on in there, and there's no surprises. My last tip number 15, is bring a measuring tape. And also bring a measuring tape for furniture, and also in terms of clothing, know your measurements. That always helps when you're shopping for furniture. Obviously, this is obvious stuff, but in case you're new to it, you want to just make sure you know the measurements of where the piece is going to go. Bring a measuring tape so that you can measure the piece, and yeah, so you're not making more work for yourself. Like I said, if you buy it, you can't return it. So you just want to make sure that it's the perfect thing the first time. I just feel like that was a mouthful. But those are my tips to having a successful shopping experience every time that you go to the thrift, because I don't know, thrifting is such an experience for me, and I just want everybody else to have a really good experience when you go. That's how you can do it. Those are just some things that I keep in mind when I go, just to make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck, getting quality materials, and getting things that'll definitely work for me, and I'm not wasting my money. Because there are plenty of things you can waste your money on that cost full price. You don't want to waste your money in the thrift store, okay? That's just me. You do you. That's just me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, please. Please. My name is Jamila, and I'll see you guys in my next video.